Welcome to Derby Lanes for the Star Sports and TRC Derby third round. We're looking at Heat 1, and as you can see, we've added a little bit from our look back at the first round. So while you still have the Derby Lane that we've assessed for each of the greyhounds, there's also what we call the tendency. For instance, Kalara Lion gets an assessment of 2.5 for the path he wants to take, but also is assessed to have on average moved 0.5 of a length to the right in both rounds to date. And it is Kalara Lion that we're going to have a look at first. Running in the second round, Kalara Lion was running from trap 1. And as you can see, I had a vacant trap in 2, but definitely moved across to the middle. And that suggests that his assessment of 2.5 is around correct. It's going to be interesting because New In Session, who's been a tremendous greyhound for so long, he's got an assessment of 2.25, and we're going to go back to the first round, looking when he ran from trap 2 and see the path that he took to the bend. As you can see, he started off fairly straight, going up, but as the bend approached, he's definitely edging across to the inside, and because of that, when you look at the makeup of this race, you'd have to think there is a chance that the two might have something of a coming together. The draw for everything else looks pretty good. Signer Ace in trap 3 has had 3 in both rounds to date and run absolutely straight to the bend. Connections will definitely be happy with that makeup. Moving on to Heat 2 in the third round, and this is a race that very interesting for a greyhound in particular, Toolmaker Sydney. We'll move on to him in a second, but first up, we're going to look at Ballymac Fair 1. Now, this is his second round performance. He was in trap 3 on this occasion. And if you watch Ballymac Fair 1, you can see that from trap 3, he's certainly holding that pitch. And if anything at all, edged slightly to the inside. Moving back to the graphic and looking at Toolmaker Sydney. Now, he's returning to trap 3, which he was so impressive from in the first round. We're going to look back at his second round performance when he was drawn in trap 2, and as you can see here, he got away to a good start, but look, he's definitely edging across, and that made things a little bit difficult for him and possibly cost him his chance against Ballymac Wild, who ran well for such a long way against. Looking at the way the race is framed, everything else has got a pretty good draw, you'd say. Swift Coke didn't move off as much as some people feared in the second round. I think Toolmaker Sydney Connection should be pretty happy with that makeup in trap 3. In the third heat on Saturday, we've got 10-pin yet again getting trap 1, and no one is ever going to complain when 10-pin gets 1, whatever the difficulties of breaking are. Ballymac Wild won't be too upset with having trap 2, but the first greyhound to look at here is Forest Gold for us. Now, Forest Gold, running in the second round on Saturday, was in trap 1. And as you can see, has moved right off from traps. Probably would have ended up in about trap 3 or even 3.5, but for the presence of other rivals. So you couldn't think that his draw in 3 is anything to be concerned about, and it actually might be good for the race. I think the other greyhound here with an absolute brilliant makeup is Unlock Unlock. And we can see Unlock Unlock and indeed Coney Wonderland. They both ran in the same heat in the second round from the same boxes in 6 and 4. And as you can see, Unlock Unlock in 6 is not going to ever find any trouble, really, the way that she stays out. Coney Wonderland probably found his draw now in trap 4. I think Unlock Unlock has got a great makeup there. Of course, the issue will always be with her whether she's going to have a wall of greyhounds to face, given that she's not particularly quick into stride. Moving on to the fourth heat, and this is a greyhound that I've long fancied for the competition, Native Maestro. We'll look at him first because I don't think you could be disappointed with his draw in 1 here. He did get beaten in the second round when running from the inside berth, but as we have a look at him here from trap 1, you can see he lost his footing at the start. He very possibly edged off just a little bit initially, but trap 1 does look where he wants to be. The other greyhound that I thought was of big interest here was Bubbly Magnum. We're going to watch him in second round action. Now, he was in trap 4 on this occasion. And if you watch, I think it's for the second round running, he's in 4 and he's definitely moving across to the inside. He probably isn't the widest of the middle runners. So this makeup suggests it could be a bit of a squeezing up. Beach Avenue in 6, though, is another greyhound who does tend to just cut across. I think Native Maestro there, if he can come out on anything like level terms, has a great draw to work with. Moving on to Heat 5, and this is a fantastic race and a rematch. We can look at two greyhounds to start with. Roxhome Shake, so impressive in the second round, takes on Mingler's Popeye, and they run from the same boxes in 1 and 2. Let's have a look at them on the run to the bend, and you can see really they both look particularly well drawn. You would hope that they would have a smoother path as they had on this occasion. No obvious issues. Knockable Sid, of course, now goes from 4, having had a middle seed put on him. And let's see why that decision was perhaps made. This is Knockable Sid running in the second round, was in trap 2 on this occasion. Now, he does edge across a little bit. I suspect that the worry the Connections had was that he didn't want him to draw trap 1. Is he a little bit further out than ideal in 4? Possibly so. Thorn Falcon would have a decent makeup here. We know he'll stay out wide. Everything else seems to be moving in. But I don't think Connections and Roxhome Shake will be disappointed. Moving on to Heat 6, and a greyhound I think has a brilliant makeup in trap 6, although a middle seed is all about Ted. Let's go back to the first round of Peter Cronin's charge and watch him running from trap 4. You can see that his first move is straight to the outside, and that's something that he's repeated again when he was drawn 4 in the next round. I think he's switched to trap 6 will definitely be in his favour, particularly so when we look at Cold as Ice. Cold as Ice ran from trap 3 in the second round, in 5 on this occasion in the third round. But look at Cold as Ice here, running from trap 3. There's absolutely edging across to the inside, and you think there's no doubt that he's going to do even more so, even more markedly, drawn trap 5. The Queen Beyonce on the inside will probably look to move off a little bit. This is a race that looks set to squeeze up, and all about Ted, who's only ever had trap 6 once before and was successful in the heat of the Kirby Memorial, looks to have a brilliant makeup. Heat 7 next, and this is a race where we can also have a look at some matching form from an earlier round. But first of all, let's look at John O. You Go, running from trap 1 in the second round, and stumbled out the start, but after that was very, very content with the inside. I probably checked over a little bit the greyhound in front of him, but you can see John O. You Go well suited to the middle. Now we've got some form of De Machine and Adele's Duke. They both ran against each other in round 2. De Machine was in 2 and Adele's Duke was in 5. So slight change for Adele's Duke going from 6. I don't think that's going to be a major issue. You can see there's crowding there, but it wasn't Adele's Duke's issue, I don't think. And De Machine, the decision not to switch him to a middle, I think, has been justified. This is one of those races where Racing Room could be at a premium early. If the machine did just edge off, John O. You Go, if you can just avoid that stumble at the start, would have some makeup. And finally, Heat 8, which is probably the heat of the night in terms of class and depth. And first of all, we must look at the reigning champion, Dearjet Sydney, who ran from trap 2 in the second round. Watch him here. He's clearly lost none of that penchant for the rails. He was straight across to the inside. So Connections are going to be absolutely delighted with the draw he's got, again with the proviso that he breaks. But it was a brilliant performance. The other greyhound I want to look at here is Highlight Arkle. He ran from trap 4 in the second round. And looking at him, the way he breaks, his early pace, he's going to edge across a little bit. He could still be the king to the race, though, because sectional suggests that he might just be the fastest to the winning line. And if he is, he's going to squeeze the inside runners up. Of course, those runners include track record holder Bocco's Belly, who's probably going to have to battle for a run or come out just as well as he did. It's absolutely set up for a brilliant third round. I can't wait.